I want to, well, good morning. Welcome back from, we did a kind of a small session last Wednesday. I don't know if, I mean, we we weren't going to maybe do one, but then I realized most of us are already working on Wednesday or Thanksgiving, so we did one. So anyway, today's going to be, we're not going to reach outside of our collaborative culture to get good stuff today. We're gonna reach from within and grab things. So I want to say good morning and thanks for being here. But we're going to dive into some reality that many of our settlers are feeling right now. And if you don't have a listing, if your listings are selling right away or they're sitting, um, or you don't have a seller right now because you've sold all your listings, what we're going to be getting into eventually is your mindset is has listings stay on the market longer. You are more susceptible to falling into the trap of, I don't want another listing, even at a subconscious level. You're going to get to where many of us were many years ago, where we had 10 or 15, sometimes 25 listings at one time ourselves. And then you'd get a listing opportunity come up, and that next listing might be more sellable, but your mindset was, I can't take on another one, right? So part of understanding that every listing is can be sold is understanding how to walk your seller through the process and how to actually navigate the process using our tool set. So homes are taking longer to attract the right offer. That's what's happening right now. And extended market times aren't, they're not a sign that the sky is falling. They're just a signal that there's a little that you need more skill, you need better communication. Your leadership matters more than ever with your seller, how you are steering the ship. And our job really is to guide them with some, clarity and confidence. And you got to have a plan. And so we've put together a tile on Carpenter Connect that is called the listing action plan. And it's built specifically to give as an add-on to the listing workshops we did this fall, Gina and I did. It's built specifically to give you some direction once you leave the listing appointment so that you can use your skill set, use your tools that you have that are exclusive to us and better communication. So I'm going to share that with you. And then we're going to pick on Erik Pitner a little bit because, quite frankly, he's the master of using all of the tools. He's really good. Now, Erik does have a transaction coordinator, so it's kind of like he's cheating a little bit. Um, so he doesn't have all the answers because he doesn't think about all the answers. But what he has, because he has someone do that with him, what he does have is a great recent experience of using all this. But I want to share a couple things with y'all, and here it is. I'm in Carpenter Connect right now. You can see that, right? So this is the top. By the way, if you're not in here and you don't have your people in here, this my contacts at a glance. You can see I had 81 market reports that get sent out in the last couple of days. 36% open rate. That's pretty good. So if you're not using that, there's a great way to save yourself some time and get some great communication going with your database. But here's what we're talking about today. We're talking about sellers, extended market time. You go to the sellers section down here in Carpenter Connect, and there's a new tile. The new tile is called the listing action plan. And when you open that, hold on my computer, it looks like this. It looks just like the four-step listing process, and all of these things are in here. And so if I was to print the full listing action plan, it would print pre-market. What do I do? What's my checklist for pre-market? What do I do while it's on the market? How do I evaluate, navigate the market with the seller? And then what do I do once an offer is accepted? That's where having a transaction coordinator kind of helps guide most of that. But the agent has to do a lot of these things. So I'm just going to quickly go through these just so you can see them. Okay, and if you've already seen them, a repetition is the key here to learning. This is the pre-market, real easy. Pre-market checklist right here. And start the SkySo file on the blue side means informs, right? Schedule the following reports in Carpenter Connect. I'm going to have Gina at the end of this show us where our videos are for that and then how to do the seller report. If that's review, that's okay. You'll get something else out of it. You create a file and listing and blah, blah, blah. You put it in the BLC and then you do the tasks needed, right? These are the tasks. Stage the home, blah, blah, blah. And a lot of these things are done before you even go live on the marketplace. In fact, you could do some of your ads even then. So if I go back to the tile, then this is what we do while it's on the market. While the home's on the market. And by the way, the red check marks are things that are either automated for you through admin or through one of the systems and tools we have, like Boost, for instance. If your admin isn't printing flyers from social media for you, ask them to. If you don't have an admin that works full-time hours for you, then go to your RAA and say, hey, I need this put in place for me. Boom, it's done. And then on-site marketing, and then, obviously when you do an open house, your admins, somebody's doing that for you. Boost is prepared for you, yada, yada. But this is on the market checklists. And then here's what we're going to talk a little bit about today, this evaluating the market. And this is the checklist, right? And this was kind of born out of this graphic that Gina and I used. And I don't know that I really like this graphic, but it's real simple. It's something that I could lay in front of a seller and say, hey, well, there's two phases to what's happening here. Remember the interview I did with Jennifer Blanford in July or June of this year? And she's told her sellers at that time, even, hey, we're going to give it 2 weekends. After 2 weekends, we're going to be able to evaluate the interest and make an adjustment. And so that's what this last checklist is, this evaluating the market checklist. It's really kind of pulling from this. And so there's two things I'm hoping Gina can do for us
Okay.
today. One is show us where the video, or three things. Show us where the videos are, show us the broker bay analytics real quick, and show us kind of where the seller reports are. But before we jump into that, if it's okay, Eric, I assume you're still okay with talking through this a little bit, but let me grab a couple things here. Erik Pitner, if you don't know him, Erik is an agent in our Avon West office. He started in the county line office and he didn't have any other choice but to do the business because you came from I'll call it a real job. What'd you do before that, Erik, before you got in real estate?
I was a paramedic for almost 25 years.
Okay, so you're out pumping on chests at car accidents, saving people. And have a pretty steady paycheck, and then you get into real estate and there's no steady paycheck. So you had to show up every day, right? That's kind of how it started for you.
Yeah, I didn't have a choice. I was broke.
Yeah. Okay, so now you've navigated your career into understanding dialogue and how to present. I think you're really skilled in those areas because you didn't have that. Maybe you had the communication skill down as a paramedic, but you didn't have the sales skill down probably. So you had kind of learned that. But walk me through. Let's talk about your last listing a little bit that you and I have talked about. I think was it in Prestwick? Is that the one?
Yeah, I was in Prestwick and Avon. It was an expired listing. They were on the market about 95 days in the spring and weren't happy with their agent. They withdrew, had a hard time getting out of their listing contract, and finally were able to do so. And then they sat over the summer kind of a little bit. Kind of, was a pretty nasty divorce situation. So he had already relocated out of state. But anyway, um, I thought they needed to be at $450,000 based on the comps when they relisted it. Unfortunately, they started at 515, so they had a false sense of what it was really worth.
Hmm.
And so I had to kind of be the bearer of bad news and bring them the reality.
So they started at 515 with the other agent in the spring.
Yeah, 515 to 499 to 475 when they finally withdrew. So uh,
Okay.
we went back and forth a little bit. I agreed to take it at 465 with a price reduction at the listing appointment to 450 after 3 weeks. So they
Okay.
were,
Just because we got to slow down a little bit.
yeah,
All you're very skilled in this, so it's easy for you to talk about. So you agreed to take the listing. First of all, you got the listing appointment. You agreed to take the listing at 465 if when the market spoke to them and they would go to 450.
right. And I asked them the following question. I said, if we don't reduce the price after 3 weeks, we are headed down the road that you were already in the spring. Do you want to do that again?
Okay, what was their answer? Do you remember?
No, they did not want to.
And then a divorced people, are you on Zoom together? Are you in the same room together? Are you
Shockingly enough, they both showed up to my office for the listing appointment. I didn't think that was going to be the case, but they did. So
okay?
the other hiccup was that they did not want any professional photography taken.
Okay.
So I pushed on that a little bit and got a lot of resistance. So I said, fine, send me what you've got. They were terrible pictures. I couldn't use any of them. And of course, they weren't big enough to use for TV ads. So I had to share that with them as well that, hey, we're not going to be able to market your home as much as I'd like to. So, we got it on the market and of course, it's a new listing. So a lot of online traffic initially, a decent amount of showings and no offers.
So let me, can I go back just a second? Who took the photos?
She did with her cell
Okay.
phone.
Okay. All right. So she wants control. She's in a divorce. She wants control. That's really what that's about.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. So you're on the market for how many days were you on with, did you have any showings in the first 2, 3 weeks?
Yeah, I mean, I had 5 or 6 showings, I think, in the first 2 weeks. So,
And you're at
and
465.
465 had open houses that the first weekend was well attended, second weekend not so much. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so when we get to week 3, they get a seller's report from CarpenterConnect that shows the market drop off in traffic
Yeah. Let me share
online.
that. Walk us
Uh,
through this because this is this, you sent me this report. This is your
yeah.
report for
So
this.
we went on the market October the 1st.
Okay.
So that week's not in there, but it was more than the 7th. I think we were around 650
Okay.
uh, listing views. And so, you can see that there's a steady decline in traffic.
Yeah. It went boom, boom, boom right here
Boom,
for the
boom,
first
boom,
week.
boom. So October the 21st, we reduced the price to 450.
All right. So everyone should be able to visually see this. You went
Which
from 465 here to 450, and then this, you pointed this out to me, 37 to 161.
that's a 500% increase in times it was viewed in their search results. So,
Yeah.
uh, and then we didn't get any showings at the new price. Uh,
The magic pill did not work.
right. And so at that point, we have to, and I went back and looked and nothing had pended. There wasn't anything active. And so I still felt like based on the lack of competition and the, inventory situation that our price was still good.
Right.
We just needed to find a better way to get more eyes on it.
Hmm.
So when that November 3rd report hit and we saw another huge drop off in traffic, I reached out to the both of them via a 3-way call and essentially shared with them that if they wanted me to continue to have their listing, that we needed to bring in a professional photographer because I was shared with them that we were getting the online views,
Hmm.
but we weren't getting showings, which meant the people that were seeing it online didn't like it enough to see it in person.
Hmm. Hmm.
So we took professional photographs on November the 4th, and I think it pinned it on like November the 11th or 12th.
So take us back because I think everyone could see that that chart reflects the navigating of the market, right? It really reflects what we talked about in the listing workshops was get it on the market in phase one. Do you need to make an adjustment in the middle? And then what's the adjustment? But how do you say that in your listing appointments? Do you remember how it went with these people anyway?
Yeah, I mean, I let them know that one of 4 things is going to happen based on our price. Is that we'll either be low and the market will fix that quickly. We'll be right on price and you'll get an offer in a week or 10 days, or we'll be a little bit high, which we were in this case. And I knew we were a little bit high, but they were willing to at least give it a shot, and I was okay with that too, as well as and then or we're just way high, we're not getting any traffic at all. So
Right.
um, and
Can I,
so
can I share something that this was born from out of your in the same tile, by the way, this Carpenter listing action plan tile. There's a pricing options thing that's also in the four-step listing process. This pricing options graphic is this, and that's what you're talking about. This was born out of your conversation at a accountability session we had with other agents. And it was one of 4 things. So what you're saying right now is you knew you were right in here somewhere.
yeah,
Okay. And they knew that because you told them that.
yeah, and I had comps to support it.
Okay. And then, so how did you tell them? Do you say anything to your clients about the seller report? Do you show them an example of, it, or do you just call them when it happens? I mean, what's that look like for you?
I let them know that they're going to be getting one every Tuesday. That's going to give
Hmm.
them an update on what's happening online And, because as we talked about before, the online showings are the first showings,
Hmm.
in-person showings are the second showings. So um, I share with them that, like, we have to find a way to go from just online showings to in-person showings.
Yeah.
Uh, and 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 after 35 days on the market or so, um, it's either price or our presentation or our marketing. And
Hmm.
I knew that our presentation was affecting our marketing because we couldn't market it properly based on the presentation that we were sitting out to the world.
And
Uh,
showing condition as presentation.
yeah, and so I mean, it was, I mean, luckily it's in a situation where they were highly motivated because they had to sell the property. And so once you share that reality of what's going on with them, it makes the conversation
Yeah.
easier. But it makes the conversation easier because it's so imperative that the conversation takes place at the listing appointment.
Mhm.
And that you're honest with them. It's our job to tell them the truth every time. And I mean, obviously, if it was worth 475 or 500, I'd be cutting my own throat if I didn't list it there, right?
Right.
Um, but the reality is they had to sell the home and they needed to price it competitively and then they needed to market it properly. And so once they did all that stuff, then we got a full price offer. So
Well, let me share with people because this is an opportunity for us to influence. This is something what you're doing at your listing appointment. You're also sharing this, and Eric lives pretty regimented by um, by a business, so he's running a business, and so he shares this with his clients. Am I saying this right? At your listing appointment, and
I
one
share
of
it with buyers and sellers, Ken.
do you? Okay. And so what I'm saying is by doing that, you're setting the stage for you are working every day in their best interest and you are a professional business. If they happen to see you, I jokingly say at the pool, in the neighborhood pool, they wouldn't see you at 3 o'clock in the afternoon at the neighborhood pool because that would be one of your appointments. Now, no one wants to see you at the pool anyway, right? But I would say that having set the stage at the appointment, either a buyer consultation or a listing presentation with the client that this is what I do, I'm professional. I think they're more amped. I think they'll listen to you when you set the stage for a price reduction. Or maybe you tell a buyer, if we find a house that's 80% on what you're looking for, that's the house. I think they'll listen to you later because you're presenting that I'm professional at the beginning. Is that how it's going for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just there hasn't really been any wavering from that standard and just the way I do it. I mean, for me, it's just second nature because it's just how things
Right.
go.
I want to point out that bottom of this says Saturday and Sunday hours by appointment only. 7 to 9:30 every night is family time. His poor wife, Liz, she's like, please go to work. This is enough family time with you. Um, but unless it's sensitive, uh, counteroffer, and you probably don't write your counteroffers to expire at 7 o'clock on a weeknight because you don't want to do that. You probably don't do inspection responses on a weekend if you can avoid it. But I think that your clients seeing this, I think they're going to listen to you more than they would if you didn't share this. That's kind of my point. And is that what's happening with these clients, by the
Yeah,
way?
and so I mean, it was harder for my wife and to get used to this because the phone would ring at 8 o'clock and she'd be like, "That's a client." And I go, "I know, but it's not going to be. I mean, we're not. It's not going to be a time sensitive issue. I'll get back." And it's funny because then I'll get voicemails or text messages from clients saying, "Hey,
Mm.
I know it's after hours, but I wanted to ask you this before I forgot. Just get back to me in the morning," because they see that is built into my schedule for me to return
Yes.
those calls and messages that come in at night. Um, and
Well, I
you're right.
think,
I don't write deadlines for 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and I just that just seems silly to me. But let's just
mhm.
And I got to interrupt for a second because I am good friends with your wife, Liz. I have I have a group chat outside of you, Eric, just so you know, with her. So I get all the skinny without you knowing. But what is funny to me and what I love is this is how good this is. His wife does not make dental appointments for the kids, any kind of appointment that they need to all go. She does not do it from like 8 to 11, I think is the time. Or she knows he won't go. He won't take the kid. He won't be available. So I mean, he's even trained, not just his clients, but even his wife knows. I don't have a husband those hours. So I just think that it shows his dedication to not only his clients, but the same thing, his family.
Well,
I
I'm
love
sure Liz likes having the house payment made. So
it.
it probably works out pretty good for everybody. Eric's a pretty
Hey,
successful agent.
I don't say a word about Amazon, and she doesn't give me any crap about bourbon. So good trade-off.
Well, Eric, let's go back to November 3rd. You did a price reduction a week before that,
2 weeks before,
2 weeks before, and then the traffic continued to die off.
had no showings with the price reduction.
And so then you have to know that you have to navigate again, meaning you got to grab the steering wheel, we got to get control. You're the professional, you've displayed that with them. And now you say, I have to have professional photos. And they comply. So how did that happen next day? Like no, I mean, how long is that taking for you?
I think it was a couple, 3 days, and a couple days at the most, maybe a couple, 3 days. So
Are you doing crazy drone stuff and all that, everything, or what are you doing?
I don't remember. I can't recall what I did on that one.
Just regular photos, probably.
Photos of floor plan. I think photos of floor plan and a couple drone shots. I think on that one. So uh,
So do you so mechanically you get those back from the photographer. What do you do with the listing? Do you replace all the photos? Do you go temporary off market for a day? What'd you do with this one?
I just replaced all the photos, and then I sent out, which I don't normally do, but this is kind of a unique situation. But I sent out on the prospecting list. I sent out an email to every agent whose buyer had gotten that to say, hey, just so you know, brand new professional photos. It looks like a totally different house. Um,
Mhm.
have your buyer take a look at it again. Um,
So that was say the fourth or fifth by the time you got photos in, and then you say you're pended. When did you pend the property finally?
like 7 or 8 days later, it was in a week or so with new photos.
And so the pending, by the way, that's average days that from the right pricing, that's average days on market, right? So you extended the listing because you took it at 465 with what you thought were poor photos. And it's okay. The sellers had to live through that. I think that's where we are right now. Sellers have to live through what they think isn't going to happen. And the best part of having a seller is we have a contract. The best part of buyer agency now is we have a contract and we don't get fired before they learn the lesson, right? We spend all the money on marketing. So, okay, so you're pended. What was that negotiation? Was it one offer? Was it multiple offers? Was it?
It was one offer, the only offer that they had gotten since they'd been on the market back in March or April. Um, and not a great offer for the seller, but frankly, they were, as I shared with them, I wasn't surprised by the offer they got. The buyer's agent's really good,
Mhm.
and so it's the offer that I would have written based on our ability to go back and look at the history of the property and the
Mhm.
current market and stuff. And it's been sitting there for 42 or 43 days. I mean, I'd write that kind of an offer too. So
Well, so a lot of times when a seller gets an offer after that experience, this is my experience talking through expired listings that I've worked heavily. They feel desperate. Like we better take this. What was their attitude? Were they still in divorce mode or?
oh, and yeah, full in divorce mode. She came into the office to go over the offer. I got, and I went over her first and got him on the phone from out of state. And I frankly, I made a new net sheet. I highlighted the net and I sent it to both of them. I said, here's the bottom line with this offer, and here's the closing date, and it gets your 8-month nightmare over with. Um,
Mhm.
and there was some back and forth about whether they should, try and counter and get. And I said, well, we can try and squeeze a little bit more out of this thing, but what if the buyer walks away? When's your next offer going to come? What's it going to look like? And in the meantime, while we wait for that to happen, we're battling days on market, which we can't fix. We can't make those days go down. They're just going to continue to go up. And every day they go up, the likelihood that you're going to get your price goes down.
So even if a seller's not motivated, like these people were, you can use days on market to build in motivation because that's the truth.
Especially if they're buying. Because and I'll share with that with the listing appointment. If you're now that you're selling your home and buying another one, how likely are you to write a full price offer on a home that you find has been on the market for 45 days? They say,
Yeah.
well, I wouldn't write a full price offer. I said, okay, well then I don't want that to happen on your listing. So let's price it right to begin with, so that you're not, having to negotiate a low offer because you've been on the market for so long.
So how do you handle this when a seller or buyer says, well, what would you do, Eric? What's your objection handler for?
I
The
well,
question.
also, it's not my home and it's not my situation, but all I know is that this offer gets you closed on this date and this is your net.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
are you okay with that? Because that's really what we're once we sort through all the 9 pages of noise,
Hmm.
uh, that we can negotiate and navigate through, then this is,
So if they came back and said, well, what would you counter with then? What's your answer? I'm putting you on the
I would
spot.
I would ask them how much money are they willing to risk to lose all the money?
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, is it really worth? In this case, it was a full 450. I mean, we were listed at 450. We got an offer for 450 with $10,000 in buyer concessions.
Yeah.
So it's like, we can go back and try and you can go back and only offer five. But if the buyer walks away, then you've given up $85,000 to try and make five more. Um,
Right.
and so how do you feel about that? And then I ask them, how do you feel about that? Is that something you would be okay with if this buyer walked away?
Yeah. So you deflected all the pressure because it's really not about you. You've already done the work. You've already steered the ship to this point.
It's not my job to make a decision. It's my job to bring them the facts and then offer them and then ask them how they'd like to proceed.
Okay. Can I ask you I don't, I think because we're all one brokerage, I can ask this. What's your commission on this, percentage wise?
4%.
4% at 465 when you listed it.
Yeah, yeah.
And then the beautiful part is who's the buyer's agent.
Melody O and Avon East.
So you're getting in-house bonus uh, of 4%. And
I'm getting 85% on 4%.
which if you do the math, most agents don't even gross list, meaning their full commission isn't even what your percentage is going to be, like 3.2% is what you're taking. Most people don't even list on the list side at 3% before their splits or expenses and all that garbage. So it's a really well run business, Eric. Gina, what did I miss with Eric before you share with us a couple things, or can you?
Well, I gotta say though, I do love sneaking him into Career Start. He's a very busy person, and I love when I get some time with him to come in and talk to the new agents. But one of the things that I just always, and you've shared it, but I just want to hit on it again because I think if you leave this call today, I hope this is something you're like, I'm going to do that. Is it's your schedule, but I love how you scare the new agents. You're like, he goes in there and he's like, post your hours on your door. And I know your office, you guys are really tight group and you guys keep each other, you keep each other in line, and they'll take their hours off the door if they're not there. They'll rip their sign off the door. And I just love that you guys have that competitive nature in your office, but I love also that you keep each other accountable because you care about each other, you care about their families, and you want to keep everybody in line. But that's a testament to your success because you have a great career and you do it because of how rigid you are on your schedule, and what you provide your clients. I see you. It's so funny because I can you imagine listing your house with Eric, Ted? Like, can you
I would.
imagine you listed your
I
house
would.
and you told him you want 465 and he's like, I want 450. I would not want Eric as my agent because he would beat me down. You think I'm a bully?
No, I would want it because here's why I would
He
want it.
would
I
beat you
want it.
down every day to get those photos done,
Yeah.
like,
Well,
or
he
get
would.
that price drop.
No, I think he positions it to where I would realize that I'm doing myself harm by not listening to him.
Yes.
And I would know that he's doing everything behind it. There's a handful of agents that I know do everything. They take that checklist and they know it's on the TV show, it's got a flyer box, it's got this, it's got that, and they're not skimping by until they get an offer. So
All right,
that,
like I reboosted it both after the price reduction and when we got new photos
right.
because that needed to be done. So,
Mhm.
and that's not, I mean, obviously it's money, but for me, it's an investment. So it's not, I don't look at it as a,
Yeah, but your net, what you're working off of your own agent income net of 3.4% or whatever that ends up being, right? It's a crazy amount of percentage of that. I don't know what boost even costs to the agent. I know what it costs us 40 or $50 each time, but it's $30 or something like that.
I think
So
there's like a 35 and a $70 one.
well, I
I've
mean, who
done that.
cares?
Yeah.
It's so worth it.
cost is irrelevant. I mean, it doesn't really
It
matter.
is. It
Yeah.
is.
Do you
Eric,
want me to share the
yeah, just show us where the videos are. You're kind of is that my computer? Okay. Show us where we can
I don't
find
know, is it me
videos.
or is it Ted? Oh, I think
That's
Ted's freezing. I
it's not
think
me.
he's
Am I frozen? I'm at the
frozen.
office.
So go ahead and if he's frozen, just do it.
I know, I think I will. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead. I think hopefully he made me. Yep, I can share. I'm gonna show you guys what. Hey guys, here's the showings that are coming through. Here's where you as agents can go in and kind of see. I actually had one. We were listed here in Avon, and I wanted to see I do the same thing, Eric. I do the Tuesday morning follow up, but one of the items on mine is I like to add sometimes is, hey, just so you know, in the last 7 days since I talked to you in Avon from 300 to 330, there were only two showings. Like you can dial in that much in Broker Bay, which I think is really great if I'm not trying to wear them down, but you're kind of just trying to, like Eric said, you're just providing facts so that they can make the right decision, and maybe that's a price adjustment. So I'm just logged in here in my dashboard. I'm going to click here on analytics, and then you're going to click on the market trends. I just went on Ted. I figured
You're fine. I don't know what's happening to my internet. I'm gonna have to call George.
it's you. It's
It,
you.
it's the office, Ted.
Yeah,
Isn't that where you are, Doug?
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm getting internet unstable. It's telling me the internet is not stable.
Okay.
The
All right.
provider.
So I'm in here. I'm going to make this quick for you guys because some of you already know this, but
Yeah.
you can go in here and I have Avon. You can click, your town that you want it to be on. You can draw. I've had agents draw to be in a certain area that, they want to use. You can do postal code. You can do what kind of sale you can took. I did residential on mine, did single family. If you're doing condos, obviously, you can change that around. There's something called more filters. I like this because you can go in here and put price range. Because to me, I'm not going to go in and say I want only 3 bedrooms and this, and I think price range is just really kind of what works for me getting my message across to my seller. So we've got 430 to 500, let's say. I can go in here and see where it's blue right here. If you were to scroll down, this is the graph that goes with that square. So if I click here on sold, there obviously nothing sold in the last 7 days. If I click on showings, it'll show how many showings took place on what, and you can look in the graph and see where those are at. I can click here on average price of the listings. This is kind of it's not showing correctly because I think I have some information in there wrong, but you can go in here. So just so you're aware, what I personally do when I go in here and I click on showings to make it blue, and then because I like the graph how it shows how maybe over the last 7 days, this is how many showings we had in Avon in this price range. If I go up here and then I can click export PDF, this is what it was. This was a past one I did. I can go in here and export PDF, and this is what I can email my client and just say, hey, I just want to show you. We had 133 showings during that 7 day period. And what I like is when it says zero, like, or it says one or two, and then I can say, hey, it's slowing down right now. This is just kind of what this looks like. So two people went out and looked at homes last week. They got in their cars with their realtors, went and looked at homes, and yours did not make the list. What does that tell me? We're not passing the first showing, which is online.
Right.
Like Eric said, there's something photos or something, and sometimes there's nothing you can do about it, right? You
Right.
can't put lipstick on a pig so much. But so just so you're aware, this is Broker Bay Analytics. I do have videos for this in Tech Help. If you need another show, to see how this works, you can do this weekly. You can do it daily. It's just really, I think it's kind of a hidden treasure that not all we
Nice.
either forget that
Mhm.
it's there, and don't use it, but just
Well, you
remember.
can print an example of this and take it to your listing appointment and say,
Yep.
hey, after 2 weekends, or like Eric said, after 3 weeks, on our way to 450, this is what we'll be looking at, or I'll be looking at.
Can
Okay.
Well,
I
and
add
you
something,
can.
Ted?
Yes, please.
I haven't, I've used it not recently, but I have used both Showing Time and Broker Bay. I've used this at listing appointments to get my price
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yep.
during
So
the listing appointment.
you're showing like there's 15 showings from 425 to 450. There's three from 451 to 475, something like that to get your price.
Yeah, basically, there's, buyers are looking in this price range and they're not looking in the price range you want to be at.
Right. Right.
This is a direct link to what the actual market traffic is now. There's no other place to find
Yeah.
this kind of detail information. I love that they showed.
Price.
Yep.
All right, so
Okay.
Do you,
next.
Do you do the
Um,
medical device recall checks?
oh, I
Okay.
don't know.
What is
I don't know
that?
what that is, but I can't even slow them down because you're sharing the screen.
Yeah, I can't see. Sorry. Okay.
Um,
Now I'm going to go to the seller reports. So I'm
yeah,
going to go
do
back to
that real
Carpenter
quick.
Connect,
Okay.
The pizza's heating up in the
and
toaster oven.
somebody needs to mute themselves.
I can't do it because you're sharing screen. I could do it for them if I.
I know, but I'm not seeing them either. Okay, sorry.
It's Gail.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
Gail,
sorry. Have a good day. I'm sorry.
you're fine. Okay, I'm clicking here on listings.
Okay.
And if you scroll down here, this is where you have seller report. Before I jump into there real quick, I just want to show you, you have something called listing exposure. This will make sense when we're in seller report, but this is where you can go in and you can add items that you want in your seller report at the bottom. So I can put held an open house, had 7 people through, put the date, put the, you can do category, you can do links in here, you can get, but you always just tag it to the certain listing. So I would put, I could, let's see here, I think it'll come up. Oh, it's pending. No, there it is. Okay, so I can grab that. That's the listing. Say okay. So everything that I put in here will fall under that listing. You can go save and next and just stack these up,
Okay.
right? So maybe you do this just on Tuesday mornings or Monday evenings, Eric, before it goes out the next day. Hit save and close. We're good to go. But anyways, now let's go to the seller report. This is the seller report, and then I can click here on preview. Mine's going to be wonky. But this is where it'll show the graph that Eric showed you. It'll show the house and the information. This one closed. So,
Every
but
Tuesday morning, sellers get this every Tuesday morning.
it's automatic as long as you set it up. You have to set it up. You have to get in there and create it and say that you want it you have to enable it.
Okay. So what I'll do is I'll take this recorded video, I'll put it together with the link to all your videos,
Okay.
and then they'll be able to do. So right now you're going in and setting up a new one.
Yep.
So boom.
And I'm just going to put
Yeah, I'm on
head on
about, I
this.
get
He
about
likes
15 things a day from you
he
because of
like it.
this.
So I'm going to go in here and then I can do my listings. And then I can grab, so let's grab Linwood real quick here, say okay. I think I've got enough in there.
Yep.
Select report. Yep, we're good. And then I'm just going to click here on preview. And this is where you can see this one pended rather quickly within a week and a half, I think it was. So this was our initial interest, and then we accepted an offer last week.
Perfect.
Thanksgiving.
Okay, so we kind of ran over a little bit, but I think it's important that we understand um, we kind of get our heads around this is not abnormal that homes sit on the market a little bit. And if you do have listings sitting or they're just a little more challenging, go back to the three things that matter. Uh, pricing strategy, showing condition, marketing, and know that you have all the exclusive marketing tools that you need. And we have too much probably. And know that it just takes a little bit of skill at the time of the listing. Eric shared his skill set with us, and I appreciate that. And it takes good communication. Those are all the things that mix up together to help your mind say, no, I do want more listings, even if they're not selling right away. I want more listings. And every listing that we take, we get about 1.8 pendings. That's kind of the number. I haven't looked at this last month as a company, but so you want more listings. And even if they take longer, you actually want them to take longer.
We want this.
Yeah.
This is
Yes.
the bread and butter right here, guys.
Yeah.
You want this market. You want things to sit longer. You want this spin-off business.
So you probably don't like that I have you showing there. Let's conclude this a little bit, 10 minute longer than usual. And no, hey, this 3 weeks, by the way, between New Year, Thanksgiving and Christmas are some of the most productive weeks of the year because you're forced yourself into communicating with people and it's warm and fuzzy. And you should be looking for referrals, purposeful contacts, look for referrals, ask for business, and know that many people are going to list their home this week and sell it and close it before the end of the year because they want to buy something in January, right? Or before Christmas. So, all right, that's all we got. Eric, thank you. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Ted.
All right. All right, guys. That's it for
Thank
Mastermind.
you.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.